Well, really good news here in Chicago tonight. The Oscars of the food world are back in town as the nation's top culinary talent are making their way into the Civic Opera House right now, actually, for the annual James Beard Awards.
And who's there for us but our food guy, Steve Dolinsky, on the red carpet for us tonight, keeping an eye out for our Chicago nominees. And Steve, I know this is like your Super Bowl.
I'm hearing it.
Steve, you got us?
Can you hear us now?
This is the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Oscars, all in one if you're in the culinary industry. But unlike, kind of like last couple of years, not a lot of nominees from the Chicago area. So we've got 2 nominees in the Great Lakes region category. We've got 2 nominees in the national categories. Without further ado, here are your 4 nominees from Chicago. In the regional awards, there are a pair of chefs nominated as Best Chef Great Lakes. Sujan Sarkar is one of them. He's the chef of Indian, a River North restaurant, taking a fine dining approach to Indian cuisine.
So it's a combination of Indian flavors with fresh produce and with a modern cooking technique on the presentation.
Lamb chops are seared, then slow roasted, served with 4 different sauces. And you can tell the plating is a few levels beyond your typical Indian neighborhood restaurant. Sarkar's co-nominee in the Best Chef Great Lakes category, Jenner Tomaska of Esme in Lincoln Park. His creations are even more artistic, oftentimes merging and overlapping with the art on the restaurant's walls or its plates. A salad is a bouquet. A Hokkaido scallop is a flower. Even the presentation of a roasted bird comes with its own sort of tableside pageantry. On the national level, we have 2 nominees up for Outstanding Hospitality, the much-loved Lula Cafe in Logan Square, where Jason Hamill and his team have been taking care of customers for more than 20 years, with a combination of warmth and genuine empathy for their guests. Chicago also has a nominee for Outstanding Pastry Chef in the U.S., Anna Posey of the Danish meets Midwestern restaurant Elska in the West Loop.
You know, to us, Scandinavian flavors and Midwest flavors are actually pretty similar.
One example of her creativity is a parfait of sorts featuring sunflower seeds, fennel, and licorice.
A licorice sauce, which is licorice root that we steep in a syrup, and the crumble itself is licorice as well, and then added a little fennel to it. Pulverized bee pollen, dust that on top. So the square itself is sort of like a semi-Fredo. We caramelize sunflower seeds, fold that all together, set it, and then cut it into this little square.
Tiny dollops of fermented honey and honey vinegar provide a mellow sweetness, but not too sweet.
Every bite you get from the dessert is a little bit different.
And you might be wondering, why are there not more nominees from Chicago? It's a great food scene here, right? Well, part of the reason is because the regional chairperson for the Great Lakes was Phil Vitale, the former restaurant critic at the Chicago Tribune. When he retired, they moved that position to someone based in Detroit, which is why you see a lot more nominees now from Ohio and Michigan. Hopefully no goose egg tonight for Chicago. We will, of course, track any of the winners in the press room tonight as soon as they've won, and we'll hopefully have a recap for you tonight at 10. Reporting live from the Civic Opera House here on the red carpet, Steve Dolinsky, NBC5 News. Back to you, too.
I'm trying not to drool on the desk right now, Steve. That all looked wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll see you tonight at 10.
Well, tonight, Chicago is the center of the culinary world.
We always think this anyway, but it is especially tonight. The annual James Beard Awards recognizes the nation's top chefs, and the ceremony tonight at the Civic Opera House featured more than 100 restaurants as finalists across 22 categories. And the best news of all, we have a local winner to celebrate here. Lula Cafe in the Logan Square neighborhood took home the top prize for outstanding hospitality.
One of the reasons this award is so important to me is it's a team award. Hospitality starts in the kitchen. It starts in the morning when we brew the coffee and we talk to each other, ask each other how each other's days are, when we care for each other, when we loan each other our trucks to go move or whatever it is. It's a tight-knit unit.
Our food guy, Steve Dolinsky, will have much, much more from the James Beard Awards coming up on our morning news. He knows all these chefs, all these spots so well. And
congratulations
so
to Lula's Cafe.
Yes.
Now everybody's going to be lining up.
Oh, everybody is already Lula Cafe.
Even longer.
Even longer.
All right.
It's a great spot.
This morning, after years of near misses, Chicago's 25-year-old farm-to-table icon, Lula Cafe, took home the 2024 James Beard Award for outstanding hospitality, not to mention the only Beard medal for the city. We caught up with chef and owner Jason Hamill, and he talked about how hospitality is really about love with conditions.
I believe that hospitality and care is something that isn't just given freely. We all share in sort of the resources needed to give that care. And so what I'm saying by that is like we're a community. We all need to sort of help each other, and that those people who are giving the care to the hospitality industry, it's amazing to lift them up and feed that sort of like central heart of that organism and make it happen.
Lula Cafe just released a new cookbook celebrating 25 years in business in Logan Square.
Congratulations.